So when I first agreed to take a look at the Edifier W360BT wireless wearable headphones, I was a little bit skeptical at first, and that is down to their design. Now they are extremely odd and a far cry from a traditional pair of in-ear wireless Bluetooth headphones, and that's really because of the neckband design. Now the W360BT headphones are designed to be worn around the back of your neck, very much like a traditional pair of headphones where the actual cable runs around the back of your neck. But the actual neckband here is supposed to relieve ear strain from when you put the ear capsules into your ears. They're able to hang there quite freely, and it really does stop sort of the bottom part of your earlobe area from really aching, because you've usually got, on a traditional wireless pair of headphones, you've usually got the cable, you've got a little control box which can be quite heavy on a particular ear, and these are just really designed to just sit there quite nicely and just forget about them while the actual ear capsules are inside your ear. Now the actual design itself is not very sturdy at all. I mean, it's very, very flimsy. As you can see, I can stretch it out quite well, and a little bit of force will probably bend this whole neck strap area out of shape if you do put a little bit of effort into that. But then on the flip side as well, if these were made from any kind of premium material, like a metal for example, like some over-ear headphones are now made of, it just loses that sort of lightness to the actual headphones, and then you probably will start to notice that you've got something around your neck. I mean, as it stands right now, yes, I know that they're there because I've just put them on, but after a while, and from commuting to work, I really stopped noticing the actual neckband on, especially if I was wearing a shirt or something like that with a collar. I could put this underneath the collar and it was out of sight anyway, and no one could actually see it, and the actual clothes acted as a barrier against my skin, so it didn't cause any kind of irritation. And even having it on now, I haven't got the smallest of necks in the world, but it actually feels quite comfortable with it actually around the neck. So all of the controls on the Edifier W360BTs are all housed in the left hand side of the neck strap. Now on top you've got play, pause and skip track. Now if you double click that, I've got an Honor 7X mobile phone, and if I double pressed the play and pause button, it phoned the last number that called me in my phone book. So there's that in mind. Sometimes you get kind of like a skip track option on there, but there's nothing I can see on here. Double click just, as I said, made a phone call to the last number that contacted me in my phone book. Now on the bottom as well of the left side of the neck strap, you've got a power button, which is a switch essentially. So you switch it off, switch it on, and you've also got a little cover here which will expose a micro USB port for charging. Now you can charge these. I charge them personally in a plug, which plug directly into my wall, but you can do it in a desktop and a laptop as well. The strange thing about the design though is that the cables come out the bottom. When the actual thing's on your neck, the cable to each headphone comes out the bottom. Now I'm wondering why they didn't just design them to make the cables come directly out the top. I know they are blocked off by this kind of glossy plastic material, but I'm just wondering if there is any kind of reason why they designed them to come out the bottom, whether that's particularly good for kind of like the cables hanging there. If they came out the top, would they be, I don't know, I'm just speculating right now. The actual neck strap itself is a one size fits all. I did try to extend it out, but there is no movement there at all, so this is definitely a one size fits all, which is okay I suppose for adults and adult necks, but when you get to sort of children, I'm not sure if these would be very viable for them. Just because of the size of the actual neck strap itself, I cannot see any kind of extension on there. And even inside the box, you didn't get another size neck strap depending on the size of your neck. You did, however, get several different earbud sizes. I'm using the medium ones at the moment, which came pre-attached, but you have got small, medium and large sizes, which you can swap out to, depending on the size of your ear hole. To be honest with you, these are a little bit loose fitting, but I quite like that. But certainly if you want to kind of plug out the outside world, you can use the larger earbuds to do that. Now, something about the design which, depending on the situation you are in when listening to the headphones, is either a good or a bad thing. Now, these, I think, to be honest with you, are primarily designed for people that want to go out and jog on the street rather than the gym. Now, the reason I say that is because they've got these holes in the back of each earphone or ear capsule, which allows sound as a pass-through to get into your ear. Now that's very nice if you are jogging on the road or cycling, for example. You need to listen out for cars or pedestrians. But I did find that being in the centre of London, especially through rush hour while I was commuting, it kind of got in the way of my listening experience, purely because there was just too much noise coming in. You had to really turn up the volume, or I had to really turn up the volume on my phone to really counteract the noise that was leaking in through these holes in the back. Now that also does mean that these are really an open back design pair of headphones, which, yes, it has some improvement to sound, but we'll get into that in a moment. So Edifier as a company has really produced some nice products. We've seen a few of them before and we've had no complaints in terms of sound quality. Yes, you do get what you pay for, but in this case, it's not a bad pair of headphones at all. So in general, pop music, I think, really does sound quite good inside these headphones. It's definitely going to get you through a day of listening to music. There's a nice amount of bass which doesn't overpower the other sort of music frequencies. And it is very well controlled until you start putting in some heavy EDM type music that is really bass centric. That's when you really start to get the overpowering bass through the headphones, but if you're listening to general pop music, you're not going to have that problem. Now, the only problem I did find is with the mids and the highs, and in terms of things like cymbal crashes, were very sort of grainy, sort of gave a bit of feedback, which lost control when listening to those kind of pop music, especially if the bass wasn't very prevalent in those tracks. Listening to orchestral type music, I wouldn't go for one of these pairs of headphones simply because the soundstage isn't big enough to be able to handle the amount of instruments that you generally hear in an orchestral track. Now, saying that, the soundstage, even in pop music, isn't that wide at all. It's a very, very flat. But I wouldn't say that's a bad thing for the price you're actually spending on these headphones. I listen myself to rock music pretty much, I would say, 70-80% of the time, and these were absolutely fine. I mean, there's no real instruments unless you get a guitar solo to pick out from a piece of rock music, to be honest with you. So yeah, and vocals again sounded very clean, very clear, very crisp as well. So I was actually very impressed with the actual sound quality that Edifier could produce from these headphones. So the really great thing about these Edifier W360BT headphones is their battery life, which lasts up to 20 hours of music playback. That's through wireless as well. There's no way of actually plugging in a jack 3.5mm auxiliary cable into this for wired music to your phone. They're just purely Bluetooth headphones. But 20 hours is a very long time. I've charged these once and they lasted me pretty much all week during my test, which is very, very good. And certainly keeps up with some of the more expensive wireless headphones on the market, especially the Sennheiser HS1s, I think they are, which are very much similar neck strap design. And that's probably because batteries are actually stored inside here and they've got a chunky battery as opposed to the tiny control boxes that you get on traditional wireless headphones. Are very, very small. You usually generally get a few hours playback with those, but 20 hours out of these, absolutely superb, and I think that's a really great feature. So I think the actual cost of these headphones coming in at £45 or thereabouts that I found online is a very good price as well. Especially for the sound quality that you get and the battery life with these headphones as well, and the actual how comfortable they are if you are using them for a longer period of time. As I said, at first I was very skeptical about this neck strap design, but now that I've used them for a week and got some really in-depth use out of them on my commutes while I'm sitting in front of a desk at work, even when I'm sitting in front of my computer at home, I was trying these out. And I thought they were absolutely brilliant just because they're so comfortable, they last a long time, and they sound pretty good for £45, to be honest with you. So thank you very much for checking out our video review of the Edifier W360BT headphones. If you enjoyed this review, then do click that like button. Please do subscribe to keep up with all of our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the description what you think about these headphones, whether you would go for something with a neck strap design, or if you're more a traditional wireless headphone setup, or even an over-ear headphones. Let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.